Hello, Elevation family. It's Mr. B. We're back for another quick discussion on a Tuesday morning. I hope you're well. If you remember last time we got together, we talked about getting back to basics. I want to continue that thought this week real quick and just continue moving through the verse I shared. If you remembered, it was in the book of Psalms, Psalm 34:6. And that verse says, "This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles." Very powerful verse. And last week I just touched on the very beginning of it to talk about how personal it was when I talked about this poor man. So today I want to move on and I want to talk about this aspect of crying unto the Lord. It says, "This poor man cried." I'll tell you, David had a relationship with God. And this whole thing about crying unto the Lord, you know, crying takes action. It takes effort. It's something that we have to do. It's something that we willingly need to do. It's something that just doesn't come on its own. We have to make a decision to cry out unto the Lord. We've got to do something. It's not a passive thing. So let me ask you, and I ask myself too, what am I doing? Am I doing anything for God? I know we do a lot of things. I know we, use our energies for a lot of different reasons. I just wonder if we're doing it for the right reason and we're using our energies in the right way. Well, if you're going to cry out to God, you've got to do something. You've got to use some of your energy, some of your motivation to do that. And, God does not want our relationship to be a one-way street. He doesn't want us to sit here passively waiting on God to bless us, waiting on God to come through for us. Thank God He does come through for us. Thank God He does know our needs and He's able to supply those. But there's something on us too. I mean, we should not neglect our part of the bargain here, crying out to God. David understood that. He cried out to God. He had a relationship with God. So what are you doing? How long has it been since you cried out to God? It seems like when we cry out to God, it's always as a last resort. It seems like we're at our, the worst end of it. We're down to our last resort, so to speak, before we cry out to God, like the prodigal son who was living his life, going along, having a great time, then looked up and saw he was in a pigsty, surrounded by pigs with nothing. Then he came to himself. I don't know about you, but in my life, sometimes I will let things go too far before I cry out to God. We shouldn't be that way. Noah didn't wait for the first raindrop to fall before he started building the ark. Noah built that ark for years and worked on that ark for years and years before the flood came. And when the flood did come, he was prepared for it. That's what he said, prepared an ark. And that's the way we should be too. We shouldn't wait till some catastrophe befalls us before we cry out to God. I don't know what flood's coming. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know your life. Maybe you're in the middle of a flood now. Maybe it's a financial flood, a personal flood, an emotional flood, a spiritual flood. Maybe you're scared. Maybe you're worried. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Maybe you say, "Brother Beeman, my life is great. Everything's cool. It's quiet. I'm successful. I don't have any worries. I don't have any problems." We still need to cry out to God. Don't wait till you're in the flood before you start working on the ark. Don't wait till it's too late. Cry out to God now. In Psalm chapter 63, David says, "Early will I seek thee." Before. And I want to end today just by reading one short passage of scriptures in the book of Psalm. And it's in Psalms chapter 141. And let me go ahead and read this to you and I'll be done. Psalm 141 verse 1 says, "Lord, I cry unto thee, make haste unto me. Give ear unto my voice when I cry unto thee. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice. Set a watch, O Lord, before my mouth. Keep the door of my lips. Incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity, and let me not eat of their dainties. Now you can continue reading that chapter. I only read the first 4 verses, but what that's saying is go to God first. God wants a relationship with you now. Go to God first. Ask Him for protection. Ask Him for wisdom. Ask Him for strength. Ask Him for discernment in your actions, in your words, in your relationships, and He will give it to you. And then when the floods do come, like Noah, you'll be prepared. I love you, and I'll talk to you next time. God bless.